Welcome back, everyone. This is another exciting episode. So before we dive too deep into that, I want to say thank you to our sponsors. Our main sponsors for the build series is iTech World, and this episode's sponsor is Aus J. So they have supplied us with the water heater, the shower, and the pump. This all comes as a kit. The main thing they drew us in with the Aus J is the hot water system. So this one here will run off the 12 volt and mains power, and over here we have the shower. This is a pretty cool little unit. It's not, you don't have to cut a big box into the side of the van. It's just a small little connection and you pull the hose out and connect it in. And then also included in the kit is the C-Flow pump. So yeah, we're going to get a listen today. I'm going to run you through how we do it and how the products work. Okay, so when I was running the cables, I had to work out where I was going to mount the hot water system. So we've got it down here in the corner under the bed, tucked away there. It's still good access. And then with the pump, we're going to have that under the sink area here. So it'll be nice and close to the sink. It's just going to live on the wall up here. Because the wheel arch takes up most of the space, it's pretty useless, so we're just going to mount the pump and run all the pipes through across the front of the wheel arch into there. Alright, so a quick run through on the hot water unit. This is the 240 volt on and off. With the 12 volt, I'm just going to wire a switch in, and that'll give it a signal to turn on and off. This is the heater for the 240, so temperature control for the 240 volts, and then this is a display, temperature display for the 12 volt. So it's automatic. It'll switch as soon as it picks up. You can just turn this on, and then as soon as it picks up mains power, it will just switch over to that. So with mounting it, it can only go the way it's sitting. You can't turn it upright or try and angle it to fit into spaces. It has to sit this way. But it does have the option of mounting it with the mounting brackets that way, or there is also holes on the bottom where you can bolt the mounting bracket down there. So alright, this is its new home. So yeah, got good access to the temperature controls, and the display's a little bit hard to see, but you can just set that, and then once it's set you can just leave it. So I should have put these on before I put the unit in there. It would have been a lot easier. But yeah, these are the right angles to come off there. And then this one came with the unit. It's a pressure relief valve, so that looks like a one-way valve as well. That goes on the cold side, so that'll get mounted, screwed onto here, and then mounted down the bottom there. And then this little one, barb here, will have a hose on it that will drain out the bottom of the Caravan. This one here's got like a rubber washer in there anyway, and I just put some tape on the outside. I don't want to go over that at all. Alright, taking it back out because that was a mission to fit into down there. These are the fittings now on the hot water system. I definitely should have done that before I put it in there, but we know this now. So yeah, I just got some right angles from Bunnings. Once I mount it in there, I run the pipe straight from there down, and that should be enough for the gravity to let it drop out. These fittings are like those John Guest fittings, or speed fittings, whatever they are. So you get a pipe and just push it in there, and then that's it. It grabs onto it and it's locked in there. So back in, mounted again, and as you can see, the direction of the pipes are now facing straight through this cabinet, and I'll go down here to the pump, which I will now install. This is the pump. I'm going to be mounting it on the wall up that way, and then this here is like just a filter with a wire mesh in it. It'll catch any contaminants or debris, I guess, that can go through your water tank and stuff it up. So that'll be connected like that. So to keep the pump nice and quiet, It's got rubber mounts here, so you just put a screw through there, probably with a washer on it too, mount that to the wall. Not too tight, otherwise it'll compress the rubber and it'll get noisy. And then with the fittings here, I'm going to put I do have rigid plumbing, but I'm just going to use like a soft pipe off this, so the rattling won't transfer through the pipe. So it'll be soft pipe down to the tanks, soft pipe off here into a barb, and then a Speed or John Guest fittings. So the pump mounted, this is the inlet side, so I'll have two tanks. One will come up here, I'll have a shut-off valve there, and then one will come up from the other side. I'll have another shut-off valve so I can choose which tank I want to take the water from, and then the pump will suck it up to here, and then that's the outlet. Got a bit to go off that side, but we'll get there. So these are our water tanks. We're going to have two 80-litre water tanks. I got these from Huntsman Products, bought it as a kit, so I like to buy things as kits these days. You don't get halfway through fitting something and go, oh, I need that. Comes with the water tank, the fittings, the guard and mount, and then this is like a weather shield, but it also helps hold the tank into place. That will run around the edges, and then when it bolts up, it'll clamp against the tank and that'll hold it in place. The not so fun part of being under here. For now, I'm just going to work out where I'm going to mount the water tanks. Looks like there's enough room from probably here to this support to fit the back one, and then the other one I'll probably go just in front of that support, just to transfer a bit more weight up to the front if need be. When you're putting two water tanks, depending on the rest of your setup, the most common way to do it is you're going to put one in front of the axle, put one behind the axle, and it will kind of center the weight a bit more over the axles and quite close to the axle too. So you don't want the big space, you don't want the water tank back here, because that's going to really lift the front of the tow ball up, which gives you no tow ball weight on your tow vehicle. I'm going to put this one as close as I can to the axle without being in the way, because the axle's got to go up and down. This front one, because that supports about 300 from the axle, so if I go in front of the axle and then hang that water tank, I think we're going to be pretty good, because being that extra 300mm forward is going to shift that weight a bit extra forward and give me more weight on the tow ball. At the moment I've got about 100 kilos on the tow ball, obviously not loaded up, but it is saying to me that I need to shift a little bit more weight forward, so I can do that with the water tanks. One thing you've also got to remember is your water tanks are going to vary in weight as you use it, so you've got to be careful of that too. You want to be able to tow it safely with empty water tanks. So yeah, now I'm just going to cut off these old water tank mounts and then fit the new ones. I didn't think the tanks were going to be this tight of a fit. It's mainly just like the bolts from the spring hangers I've got to be careful of, and they're going to move up and down as well, so I'll see how I go, try and fit it in between them. I don't really have much choice, otherwise it's new water tanks. So I've just gone through and remarked the chassis on the Caravan. Yeah, just drilling these out and then we'll try and mount it. So this is like a weather strip. So what's going to stop is the dust and that getting in under the water tank. So we're just going to like stick it down the edges So grab that sword. Grab the water tank. Let's stick it in. Day. Yesterday was really good. Stoked with the outcome on how easy the tanks were to put in. Today we are just going to connect everything up. So water tanks up to pump, pump to hot water to shower outlet, and then I don't have the tap or the sink today. I'll just have like some T junctions that will allow for the tap and the sink. I've got a lot of fittings. Bought a lot more than what I need because I don't know, this in my head is really confusing, so I'm just going to start piecing things together one at a time and then hopefully it all comes together. Alright, so I'm going to make up a piece of pipe coming out off the pump. This is the pump connector, came with the pump, and then I have some soft pipe. So we're using soft pipe here first to reduce noise off the pump, and then we have a barb to 12mm solid hose, and then because I need to turn it straight away, that's going to go on there. Here we have inlets from the two tanks, so that's the front tank, back tank, and then we can shut the tanks off and choose which ones we draw the water from. So you can see the pressure side. So we've come out off the pump here, come to a T section, and that goes up. This here will be a feed in for the mains, and then it goes up, and then this will be shower and then tap for the sink. So our shower's outdoor, so it's just going to be mounted here, and then the feed will go out there. Then this pipe runs along under all our cabinets into here and into here. So this thing here is a check valve or a one-way valve. So this is the feed into the hot water, and that's going to stop the water going back that way, and it will probably stop the heat transferring back that way as well. Also, when the water heats up, it's going to pressurize this side, and then there's a pressure release valve here, so that will open and then let the water out the bottom. You don't want to get too much pressure and then it pushes back in towards your system. So that's the cold feeds all sorted. Now we'll get on to the hot. Right, so the hot water is a lot easier. So it's just a T junction here, and then I've got the threads already mounted there, so they're flexi pipes from the tap, and then just screw them on there. So yeah, the shower, sink, and then it's just one feed, goes all the way back to the hot water, right there, and that's it. So for the hard pipe that I'm using, I just got the hot and cold. I don't think it's any difference in product, just colour. It's called a John gas pipe. With the hot water pipe, there's also these little things here, and they go into the end of the pipe before you push it into the connector. I think it's just got to do with like keeping the pipe round when it gets hot so it doesn't slip out of the connectors. I'll just show you as well one of the connectors. So this is an elbow one, but they're basically all the same. This just pushes over the top, and then it's on there, and that's it. It's like pressure sensitive to hold it in there, so when there's pressure on it, it stays on there. Also, there are little clips, which I don't know where they are. They clip on here, so you can't push this back down, because to get it off, you just push that back in and pull it, and it will come back off. Really easy plumbing system, and this job was a lot easier than I thought it was going to be, so stoked with that. Time to work out where we're going to put the water fill points. So I don't want to be running pipes here, there and around everywhere, so wherever the filler point lands on the water tank, I'm just going to bring straight up. So this hole is the existing hole for the old water tank, so it works out good because this one can come up here, go through the floor on the inside, and then pop back through the wall here. That'll be filler point number one. I'm just going to show you this water tank and how close I came to not being able to fit it. So as you can see, there is my hanger, and that is pretty close. Got a little bit of room in between the hanger bolt, but not much. They fit, so that's all that matters. If this one ends up breaking, I'll just replace it with a smaller one. This here is the feed to the water pump, so that'll go on there. I'm going to keep the fillers in the same height, so I'll just work out where they go on the groove there. And then the next one will come straight out here, basically, and then up here. Alright, so I'm just going to put in this barb here for the pipe. So these things here are like quite loose, like I could push that in if I wanted to, like without having to screw it. So I'm just going to put a heap of thread tape on here, just so I can get some bite back into it, and also seal it so the water's not dripping out of there. Surely that's enough. Still quite loose. That feels better. Oh, feels good. We are filling the tanks with water. Celebration time. And also time to check for leaks. So you can already see there's one coming from the fill point. Shower time. I'm going to get this all prepped and cut the hole out, and then we can have a shower.
Shower. It's a mystery. No, it's not really. But we're going to install this. Well, not we, Luke. But we're just trying to figure out where to put this because it needs to be like near where the sink is on the inside. So like on the opposite side to that. And I was just looking, like in my mind, I thought the bench would be like down here. But yeah, bench height's about here. And then what we think the sink is here.
Yeah.
Well, that's, yeah, wardrobe is over the wheel, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, like...
In line with that. Great, I guess.
What a handful of this teething child. Yeah, so I guess my only concern is like if we have that there.
I reckon it'll be down a little bit lower. Like,
yeah, because I guess you want it somewhere easy to.
Yeah. Jess!
Yeah?
Help!
Huh?
I need your help.
Help?
Yeah.
We're inside?
Yep. Can you get that big brass, like the backing part of the shower?
Yep.
And then put it in the hole. And there should be 2 angle screws there.
Yeah.
Can I have them? So the hot should be on your right.
Yep. Oh, so it's like this little thing?
Push it into the hole, yeah.
Yeah, I've got hot on there and then the cold on the left, but I can't fit. Yeah, this doesn't fit through this hole.
What?
You might just need to cut more of a square.
Exciting one today. Now that the hot water is filled, we can wire it up and turn it on. The main cables I've already run, and for the on-off switch, I just put a normal, this is an architrave house switch for lights. They work with 12 volts. Yeah, I'm just going to mount this in here, out of the way where OC can't get to it. So it's going to be in the cupboard. And I'm just going to have one switch for the hot water unit and one switch for the water pump. And because all the cables pass through here, this is a good location, so I can just jump into the 12 volt supply, wire it into the switch, and then I've got me on off. I just went into the number 1 and then into the C, and that makes the circuit. So I've got top one is hot water on and off, and the bottom one is water pump on and off. So with the hot water, so this one has positive and negative on a clip here, which is to turn the 12 volt system on and off. And then for the 12 volt power supply to heat is on another circuit coming out of the hot water unit. So you got to run 2 wires. So I've got a 12 gauge cable running for the actual heater element, and I'll wire them up now. And then yeah, I just put the on off switch into a 7.5 amp cable from the battery. Moment of truth. I'm going to plug this hot water system in. I'm going to test the mains power first. It's meant to be quicker and stuff, so ready?
I'm ready.
I'm nervous.
What are you nervous about? Is it on? I can't see past your noggin.
So that's the temperature. I'll turn the temperature all the way up and then flick this switch and it should be on. Or is it already on?
Yeah, there's a light at the front.
Was it?
Yeah, a little red light.
So it's off.
Yep.
On. Yeah, there we
On.
go. Little red light.
So how long do we think it will take to heat up? You're reading online. So with mains it's like what, 10, 15? Or was it like 20? Oh yeah.
I think it's like 30.
Oh, we're not in a rush.
We'll find out in a minute.
yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. So like one thing with getting this hot water unit, obviously it's not instantaneous, is that how you say it?
Yeah, so it doesn't heat water as it goes through.
So yeah, and we've had a hot water service like this in our old Caravan, and then in our bus we had the instant, but we didn't really personally rate the instant hot water. So like
we used too much water trying to heat it up and stuff.
You would literally have to run the tap for like a good, it probably wasn't that long, but when you're living out of small water tanks, it was too long. So we were running the tap for our sink or for our shower for like at least 30 seconds before you'd even get a temperature change, which just wasn't really ideal. So we're happy to wait with this. Like we just figure if we're going to have showers or wash dishes, when we're cooking dinner at night, you turn your hot water on. By the time you finish dinner, it's heated, you're ready to go. So yeah.
Or even that, like it's well insulated. So I was watching someone who was telling me they turn it on during the day when they're getting solar, and then they'll flick it off and it'll still be hot at night. So
yeah. Or the other option is we just have it on 12 volt throughout the day. So the 12 volt obviously apparently takes longer to heat up. If we were just hanging around the Caravan all day and we kind of wanted access to hot water on and off, I would probably just leave it on 12 volt.
Yeah. So I feel like once it gets up to temperature, it's not going to use a lot of power.
Yeah, no, not at all.
Anyway, I'm going to do, once we've used it for like 3 months maybe, I'll do a full review on it.
Yeah.
Let you guys know how it's running.
Yeah.
Yeah, commentary. Alright, so the last part of the plumbing is going in right now. This is just like a mains inlet. It's got a built-in pressure regulator, so that ensures that I don't blow out any of these John Guest fittings because they can only handle so much. And then it's also got a built-in check valve. Now you can play with that one, darling. It's got a built-in check valve, so the water's from the pump isn't going to push back out here. So this is just a all-in-one unit. So I've got that, makes it easier. And we're just going to put that in here, right next to this tank filler point. What do you reckon? Looks good?
Yeah, I reckon that's the spot.
Cool. Alright. Let's drill a hole. Hopefully we don't hit anything.
Gonna be loud, bub. Kind of. Oopsie. Oh, there was a bracket.
Fuck, it was right next to. Could not get any closer.
Holy. Whoops. Oh well, I mean, it's not whoops, it's good.
Hey, there's metal shavings down there now, darling. What do you think of the hole? They got lucky. Don't do what I just did. Maybe check things. Because if that was right in the middle of that, I would have had a hole in the side of the hand that I couldn't do anything with. Fluky Lukey, they call me. Kapow! So I'm just temporary fitting all these at the moment, including these ones. But eventually, once all the painting is finished and that, I'll take them off, fill it with silicone, screw it back on. Because I've only just got to pop it off a little bit, be able to get the gun in there, and then push it back in, screw it off, wipe it all up, done. Alright, that was pretty easy to hook up. All I had to do was screw on John Guest fitting, and then a elbow, and then the pipe runs through there, connects back into that T-piece at the back here that I had sitting there ready to go for it. And that was it, it's all fitted. Alright, so we got our sink. This is a undermount sink. Well, you can mount it on top, but we're going to go undermount. So I just made up a template to fit this perfectly. And now I'm just going to put that on there, draw around that, work out where the tap goes. We've gone with like a gold tap and stainless sink, which looks pretty cool. It's nice to mix your metals up sometimes. So yeah, once I cut this out and then finish up all these edges nicely, we are going to give it a coat of clear.
Looks good.
Goes in like that, yeah?
No.
What do you mean, mate?
No, we're going to undermount because I just feel like undermount looks a bit more high quality. I did notice though, just you shoving that in there has like scratched it all that. Oh, it's just silver, that's fine.
I've got to like clean all that up.
So it really shows the fingerprints, hey?
That's why it's under here, yeah? No.
I like that though.
Looks good?
Yeah, I think so. Obviously, once you clean it up and sand it and whatnot, yeah, cool.
Got that?
Like a perfect centre.
Well, it'll be in the centre of this, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's good because the way you, like, that's a good amount that you could still fit things in the sink, but then it's, you wouldn't want it any further away from the edge.
Because you can't move this one out of the way, so it's got to be back.
Oh, true. Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't go any further back than that though.
No, what about forward? Maybe there.
No. Well, the water's like on an angle, so it's going to flow like with the pressure.
Don't want it too close to here either.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Like I said earlier, I don't mind a bit of space at the back. Nah, I don't think, I think if we went this, if we would have gone the circle sink, put it to the side again. No, it's not for me. I reckon we go centre.
These are the flexi hoses. They just thread onto this connection and then also onto the back of the shower. So I just grabbed these ones from Bunnings, and then those ones up there, they came with the tap and they just threaded onto these fittings. So really easy once you get to that point. Also with the sink waste, this was just whatever I could make work. Heap of connections down to a 25mm clear tube that runs through there, through this cupboard and out the bottom of the van. Alright, so really happy with the water pressure as well coming out of here. First on the pump, heaps of water, and then same out of the hot. And that's on now too, so it's hot. It does get to a temperature where I can't put my hand under it, so it does get really hot, that unit. Yeah, I tried the town water, or the town water hookup, and the pressure is a little bit less than this pump, so the pump's got more pressure.
Alright, so other than the 12 volt hot water heater that we popped in, we've also got the Aus J shower. Super simple to use, which we love. We've just got this little unit attachment type thing on the outside. You just grab your shower head, you pop this in, and you can turn it. So that's obviously blue is cold water, red is hot, so we'll go a little bit in between. And one thing I really like about this shower head is you can click this down and it stays on. So with our older ones, you didn't really have the ability to do that. So you can kind of just it up there. Pop this up here. Ready to go. Yeah, so we've got another pump, which was also supplied by Aus J. Heaps of pressure, which is really good. Yeah, this is just so handy. We like that we can take this out because when we're on the road and with our old setup on our bus, we had one of those shower units. If trucks went past, they would literally suck the door off and our shower had everything out. So loving the simplicity of this setup. And we can keep this inside.
Safe and sound.
Yay, safe and sound, not broken. So yeah, plenty of outdoor showers to come.